Hello, everyone, and welcome to United Way. Live United. I'm Terry Westerfield, and joining me today, I have friends in from Catholic Charities, Archdiocese, New Orleans. And I want to welcome to the program Shannon Murphy. Shannon is the Director of Volunteer Services for Catholic Charities, Archdiocese, New Orleans, or can we call it CCANO?
That sounds great, Terry.
That sounds great. Also with us today is Anna Tujas, who is the Associate Director of Communications. Welcome back, Anna.
Hi, Terry.
And joining us also for the first time, but I hope it won't be the last, Jonica Julian, who is a Head Start. You are with the Our Lady of Angels. Can you fill us in?
St. Mary of the Angels, Head Start.
So you've got a big crowd on your hands.
Yes, we do.
And also welcome to the program, Mamie Hall Landry. Mamie is the administrator for the Therapeutic Family Services Foster Parenting Program, and I think you do a little something else too, don't you?
Yes, I'm also the administrator of our Independent Living Skills Program.
I think that only goes to prove what we all know who work for nonprofits. You wear more than one hat and have a lot of titles because you're doing everything you can almost from A to Z to help your organization succeed. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time to join us today. And I want everybody who's listening to understand that Catholic Charities, not only are our largest partner, but you're also one of our best community impact partner agencies. You're part of this umbrella agency of health and community services that operate throughout the Archdiocese of New Orleans. Now, there are numerous programs serving those literally from birth till they are called home, and United Way is partnering with 8 of those programs. And while those may be year-round programs, ladies, can you believe it? I don't know where this year has gone, but it's already 'tis the season for the holiday gift drive. It's time. You can never be too prepared, and this year is just zooming towards the end. And I think Shannon, we talked a little bit about before the program that maybe you need to start everything off because everybody's kind of under your auspices, right?
They do. We're the central office for the holiday adoption program, and that includes Thanksgiving and Christmas. And we ask that donors, whether it be companies, families, individuals, schools, or churches, contact the volunteer department. And basically, you tell us how many children you want to adopt or how many families you want to adopt. And then I talk to the program managers, get their wish lists, and match them up.
And let's be clear about this, too, because I know that you're with the adoption program, but different things. We're talking about the availability to help them, the capacity to help these kids. We're not specifically talking about adoption of these children.
No, it's holiday adoption to give them a brighter, better Christmas or a brighter, better, fuller Thanksgiving.
And there are so many that are in need in this area. And I think that's one thing that I know United Way, Catholic Charities, and so many other partner agencies and nonprofits have had to do. We evolve as the needs of the community evolve. But one thing that never seems to change is that need to brighten a child's future. And sometimes it's done through education, such as Head Start. Other times it's to put that smile on their face because Santa or someone has left something underneath the tree. But let's talk a little bit about that because here you are, Jonica, you have a lot to do with the little ones. And I know that this is something you probably see all the time, that you can kind of figure out which children might need that little bit of a helping hand.
Yes. Sometimes the families share different things with us, and sometimes we see a need other than what they've shared with us.
And how do you see that? I mean, do they tell you, or it's just because you can tell, or maybe you get to know the families in your classroom setting?
Yes, both. Sometimes they do come in and share things in our intake process, and sometimes we'll see a need. For instance, if it gets cold and we may notice a child doesn't have a coat or long pants or long sleeves, then we can sit down with the family and find out a greater need from there.
And so that could mean that it's not all just fun and games and toys when we're talking about adopting families, some very practical things. Like you mentioned, clothing. And we don't think of New Orleans as getting, or this region as getting really cold, but we've had some winters where it's been pretty nasty out there. And the wind whips up, and no little child should be standing out there without some long pants, or if it's a little girl with some tights, something to help keep her warm or him warm, and a jacket. And that's something where when you talk about the holiday drive, and ladies, please all weigh in, will you accept things that have been, as we used to say, gently used, or we prefer that they all be new because we can kind of dig a little deeper and get something special for an individual?
When it comes to the holidays, we want every child to get a new toy or new coat. Gently used items are looked at other times during the year, but when it comes to the holidays, we want them to have new items.
And that's good, because that means that you can go into the different stores. And I know in the past, do you do different angel trees or things like this, or where people can participate? Or is it going directly to you at Catholic Charities, or whether it's to Mamie, or whether it's over to someone else that's saying, here, I've got this donation? How do
We
you
have
work it?
we have over 100 donor groups, and some of those are churches that have angel trees, included St. Philip Neri and a number of other churches, and some of them are companies, as I mentioned, and they all get brought to our downtown office, and then the programs take them, and many of them have holiday parties so that the children get them there. And or sometimes I think the parents hold on to the toys and hold on to them so that they can get them on Christmas morning.
This really, oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead,
I was
Anna.
just going to say, the whole process of our holiday adoption drive is just truly giving for the donors who participate, because a lot of companies, they'll do this with their families, and their family will adopt another family, so the kids get to enjoy picking out the gifts that are on the list. I know Mamie's family actually participates in some of the giving drives, and she was saying her daughter really loves getting everything on that list for the people that they adopt. So it's truly giving on all sides. The people who get the gifts love receiving things that are new. They love feeling that there's people out there caring for them, and it's really just a special process all the way around, I think.
I was going to say that old adage, it's better to give than to receive, is really true at this time of year. I know so many people, we get to a certain point maybe in our lives, whether we have children or not, or we still have family members who are younger, but after a while, it's what can we do for others? Because how much stuff, as my little nephew says, how much stuff do I need? And I was very proud of him to say, let's help a family. And so we did that last year, but it was wonderful because he initiated. We'd wanted to do it earlier, and we weren't sure about the kids, but through church and otherwise, and through youth programs that they were involved in, and scouting and whatever, they said, there's so many other people out there that can use some help. And for them to understand the concept, but initiate it and want to participate so wholeheartedly, that's something that I think we want to encourage all to do. And Mamie, since your family has been involved, maybe you can talk a little bit about it.
Well, let me talk about my kids,
Go for it.
because we provide foster homes for children who are in state custody, so they're not with their biological families at the holidays. I had a former staff member once say, if we can make every child that comes through our program smile one time, we've done our jobs. Or if they can leave foster care with one good memory, we've done our jobs. And that's what Christmas does. We tell our kids, dream big, dream small, ask for what you want. You might get some of it, you might not. But they're always grateful for everything that they get, and being able to open a new gift, because what we do is we'll give it to our parents, the foster parents, and tell them, put it under the tree. It can be from you or Santa or whomever it needs to be from. But just to see their smiles on Christmas morning, especially since they're not with their biological families, they're with families who have embraced them and taken them in, and it just makes it so much better.
Can you talk a little bit about the foster program? And you alluded to a little bit of how children get there, but how many might be involved at this point?
Well, with our program at Catholic Charities, we only have about 15 therapeutic foster care children. And what that means is they have some mental health diagnosis or physical ailment. And they've come into care due to abuse or neglect or lack of supervision, any number of things, dependency of a parent. And so we have homes that we train the parents to accept these children into their homes and treat them as part of the family.
But maybe I would think that because of these children who do have these disabilities, it takes a lot more to be a foster parent as well. someone who's
yeah.
readily available and willing to give of themselves wholeheartedly.
Oh, absolutely. It really takes a special person. We provide ongoing training. They have to be certified. They have to pass background checks, police checks, drug screens before they can actually accept a child into their homes. And so we provide on the front end 36 hours of training in handling children with mental health difficulties, and we work with them throughout the year to make sure that they can continue to provide those services.
And I would think that some of the things you've just mentioned, for those who are listening today who might be very interested perhaps in finding out more about or becoming a foster parent in the therapeutic program like this, that you realize that there's going to be this time span that you have to be in it all the way, because you don't want somebody who's just going to come in for a few months and then fold their tent, so to speak.
Absolutely. We need parents who are willing to, as we like to say, open their hearts and open their homes to accept our children into their homes. And so we are asking for the long haul. Our children present with many difficulties, behavioral problems, and so we need parents that are willing to go the distance to work with them and their other mental health professionals to help them and make their life in foster care as easy as possible.
And when it comes to their wishes, a lot of the clients' wishes are really very special and can include educational toy, favorite book, bike. Also, they do have some of those big ticket items sometimes, but generally it's something that they would ask for the family, not necessarily anything too crazy. Bikes, everybody likes a new bike at Christmas time. And when it comes to the holiday adoption drive, it is a wonderful time to get a family involved, because young children of your own aren't old enough to be able to give through volunteering, and we do get those phone calls quite often. I have a 10-year-old, I have a 12-year-old that I'd like to have volunteer, and they're just not at the maturity level or at the level that they can contribute as much as we would like them to. So a holiday adoption of another family is a way to get your family involved.
Now, Shannon, do people ever ask to meet the other family? Does that ever happen, or is it kept a little bit anonymous there?
People do ask. We do keep it anonymous because we want to protect the privacy of the family receiving the items, and we also want to let them, empower them to see how they're going to give the presents. Is it going to be from Santa? Is it going to be from themselves? And it could just be a little bit awkward, and we want to just really take care of the client and make Christmas as special as possible.
Well, I like the fact that you were talking about the different variety of things, because children are all different. So they all have, and the age groups are different. So they all have different ideas about what they want or what they really need. So talked about big ticket items such as bikes. We talked a little bit about clothing, but books and educational things. Now that to me just sounds you think, wow, they want something educational, but I think that's wonderful. And I think it speaks highly of the children in the family that these children are so motivated.
Well, they do have some special shows on these days. I have young children myself. Doc McStuffing, an African-American girl who's a doctor, and whatever's popular on TV, then the kids are interested in that, and whether it's, the books that go along with that. A lot of our younger children, our Head Starts are great with asking for educational toys for the younger children, board books to introduce them to literacy. And then, everybody likes a bike, coats. The older girls, the teenagers are interested in maybe, Bath and Body Works or perfume or, lotions and things like that. Wallets, wristlets, scarf, mittens, new socks. Who can't use socks for their kids when it comes to the holiday time? So we really give very specific and with sizes and the like. But also, a family can become creative.
Well, I'm wondering about gift cards. I know that sometimes when you give or get, that seems impersonal. My older nephew only wants gift cards. I'm like, well, wait a minute. But he's at that age. He's in college now, and he'd rather pick out things himself. So I would imagine whether it be the family or Santa, who's very wise, might know that our gift cards appropriate, because you could use them for so many things.
We welcome gift cards, and we're very open in regards to small denominations, larger denominations. Sometimes we request for the specific child, like, what's their favorite store? Is it Best Buy or the movies? You think about, I mean, a family that doesn't have extra dollars don't have money to go to the movies during the holidays. So if you gave a gift card to the Palace movies, they could do that as a whole. But gift cards are very much welcome, and usually we encourage Toys R Us, Target, the ton of stores that they'll be shopping at. But teenagers, you can't buy for teenagers. They want those gift cards. We're very flexible.
I like the fact that you're saying be as creative as possible, because that's what the kids want too.
Well, everybody loves the Saints and the Pelicans,
yes.
and so our requests oftentimes for parents as well as children. Sometimes it could be a teenager who's needing a new comforter or something like that and is into zebra. But when it comes to New Orleanians, everybody has a Saints Friday at their school or at their work. So Saints are very popular.
If I could share a story,
please.
Year, one of our teenagers requested Saints tickets, and he got them. It was, a ticket for him and for his guardian. He did get it. Unfortunately, he ended up leaving us before that, and so we gave him back to the donor, and they were, I'm assuming, very appreciative that we didn't just take him and give him to someone else. But yeah, as Shannon said, our teenagers love anything sports related, and they like Old Navy and, like she said, Best Buy, usually a clothing store. The girls love makeup. Any kind of makeup. The teenagers love that, and hair products.
I think it just shows how wonderful our donors really are for this program. They specifically try to make these individual wishes for individual kids to adults to families come true. So they take it to heart that they're making a difference, and they really do. They make it a special time for the families that we serve at sometimes it's a difficult time for the holidays if you don't have enough to make ends meet. So the Holiday Adoption Drive truly fulfills an important need.
I would just say, especially when I heard Mamie talk about, and actually you too, Janika, and talking about the kids and those who don't have, so that opportunity to fill that gap. Boy, and isn't that what the holidays are all about? And that's what we're talking about here. And I can't imagine anything that's brighter than, I'm trying to remember which one of you said about putting the smile on the face. Was it? It was Mamie. Okay. And that's got to be so gratifying. Because, especially when you were talking, it really touched my heart, about those who are in the therapeutic foster parenting program, because they are let's say, really rising to some challenges they have to overcome. Yeah.
Correct. They're most of our kids have a mental health diagnosis, so they may be medicated, they may be in therapy, and Christmas is all about joy and all about fun. And our donors help make that happen. And we are very appreciative of everything that our kids get. And most of them usually get something on that wish list. I don't think there's ever been a year that our donors have not come through for us that our kids have gotten something on the list that they wanted.
We talked a little bit earlier in the program about what to do, where you could go, but Shannon or Anna, I think that it's the time again to say what to do if you have purchased gifts or gift cards, or you want to drop off other donations regarding money, etc. Let's give an address, let's point them to a website, a number they can call, all of the above.
Well, we are truly matchmakers when it comes to the Holiday Adoption Drive. So what happens is a company or a family contacts me or my coworker at 504-310-6962 and lets us know what size or how many individuals they're willing to adopt. That information is also on our website, www.ccano.org, under volunteer and then Holiday Drive. And we want them to contact us. We'd rather them not just drop off gifts because we want it to be a true matching, and then
organized.
Right. And then you know what the child or the family wants and needs, and then we tell you when to drop off the items. We do encourage people to shop early. November 14th.
And often?
Yes. On your purse, not mine. But November 14th would be the deadline that we would want somebody to contact us so that we can match them up with that Christmas holiday family, give them time to shop for that. And all of our information is on our website as well.
Now, Shannon, we talking about the purchase that might be made, but are you requesting that they come unwrapped so you know what is in them? I mean, I'm just curious because now I'm wondering, do we have a need for a number of elves to be gift wrapping and putting bows on things?
We do not need elves because 90% of the toys come to us wrapped. The important thing is it to be labeled to the right child because it goes to that child without question. We encourage big garbage bag, gift bag, so for the family so it stays together, but things are labeled for the child and for the program. We also, sometimes people aren't wrappers. I know I'm not a wrapper myself, and we suggest including wrapping paper so that the mom or the dad can wrap themselves, and then that involves them in the process.
And that makes it a little bit more enjoyable, I would think, too. You know, we're talking a lot about the toys and the clothes, but also about the food baskets, because we think of the holidays and we think we're coming together, and whether it's a turkey for Thanksgiving or Christmas or the vegetables, the trimming, and, you know, all the things that I can almost smell it right now. You know, I'm taken back all those years ago. But it's not much of a celebration if you have a very hungry tummy and you haven't the kind of food that not only you need for a holiday you'd like to have, but maybe go to bed hungry sometimes at night. So food is something that's always welcome, I would assume.
Yes, we have a Thanksgiving holiday drive, and that's when it comes to all the fixins to be able to make the meal. We're not able to take perishable items, so we do ask for gift cards for those turkeys to be purchased by the family. But similar, you know, it would be, I want to provide a Thanksgiving basket for a family. Occasionally we have donors who at Christmas time include a food basket to go along with that. It's not a requirement, but it is giving, you know, a little bit extra to that family. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, we want to be able to provide as many of our clients Thanksgiving baskets as possible.
I was just saying that's another lovely idea. Shannon, with the, as you said, non-perishable, so a lot of canned goods and things like that, which is nice because that might even last you a few days or into the holiday season. So I would assume that is always welcome.
Yes, certainly.
And you've been over there a little bit quiet, Jonica. You've got to tell us more about your Head Start families. And I know that Mamie shared some heartwarming stories, and I know you've got to have them with the wee ones, too.
Yes, I do. Actually, I think the way that we look at it, it provides hope. Our families are so excited when they receive the Thanksgiving baskets and the Christmas toys. One story that I can remember brought me to tears was a family shared that she never told us she was having such a hard time. We saw a few little needs in the child, but we weren't 100% sure. But that was the family that kept sticking with us when we were trying to decide on who to adopt. When she came in to pick up the toys, she fell to her knees crying. Oh. She said that she just expressed to a family friend that she had to choose between her lights or Christmas toys. So she knew that her lights were much more important. But she thought about her kids' faces. She had 3 kids at the time. When we gave her all of the things the donors donated, she just cried and fell to her knees and just kept saying thank you. I think those times are the things that the parents really appreciate at the end of the day. The next week after they came back from the break, the kids were so excited. She kept telling us thank you. She kept saying how much it meant. She said she felt like she wasn't such a failure after all. And I think those are the things that we love to see, and it makes it so helpful at those times.
I say not only do you help the children, but you help build back her self-esteem.
Yes.
That is always a better parent. When you believe in yourself, you can move forward and do, I know. I'm getting a little bit verklempt. I'm looking at us all over here.
Head Start is truly a family-supported program. The kids are there with our Head Start staff every day, but we try to involve the family as much as possible. There's always a fun activity coming up where we ask the parents to be involved, and we try to teach the parents to take that involvement on to higher education, to kindergarten and beyond, because that's when kids truly succeed, is when the parents are able to be involved. And so with the holiday gift baskets, we take a little bit of stress off the parents, I think, around that time to be able to enjoy the holiday season.
Yes.
and not have to worry so much about making that difficult choice between gifts or lights or things like that.
Right.
And I think it's amazing. And please, you wanted to say something else?
I was just going to say that I do like the idea that it is anonymous, because sometimes parents feel it means more to the kids if it comes from them. And then, but this particular family, she even said that she had so many things. She was able to say, Santa brought these things, and these are the things that Mom brought. And just the appreciation, they made cards for the families, and we're able to give those cards back to volunteer services so that they can give them to the donors. And that's something that we make sure that we do every year now. We make sure we make cards in the classroom or get the parents to bring in thank you cards, just as a little thank you for the things that they've done for them.
I was just saying that it's so important to acknowledge that. And I know we keep talking about anonymity, and that is the right way. But I have a question, Shannon. Some of the companies or bigger organizations that get involved, do they prefer anonymity too, or do you want to say a few names of those?
Well, we have over 100, so
Ooh, you
if
don't want
I
to forget anybody.
exactly, but we do have just so many that are so generous. I will mention one. LA Dental is huge, and they have many different branches, and all of the branches, they take off of work, they rent a U-Haul, they come in, and they're extremely generous with what they provide.
But no candy.
No, but the dentists themselves are delivering the
That's
bikes and the
amazing,
toys, and you kind of
sure.
think, oh, well, an administrative assistant's going to do it. They all get involved. So if I have to call out to one, that would be LA Dental.
And that's fabulous. I wish every now and then perhaps we had a camera in here, because I look at the smiles that we're beaming, we're giving you back, Mamie, the smiles that say it all.
Right.
Well, ladies, believe it or not, we've got just a couple minutes. This has really gone quickly. I'm hoping we might go around the room just one more time and maybe one more thought about people getting involved, or what you want people to take away today, what you should know about Catholic Charities Archdiocese New Orleans in this wonderful program. May I start with you, Mamie?
Sure. Our donors in Catholic Charities, very supportive of our programs, of our clients, and just for people to know that when our foster kids leave us, whatever they got leaves with them. So we don't keep it, it goes with them. It follows them either back home or to another home, wherever they're going. But we always have the support of our administration. Our donors are wonderful.
And Janika?
I think because we service low-income families, I just want to say that we would like to thank the donors or potential donors for helping those low-income families. Nothing is too little or too big, as Shannon has said. It's the smiles on their faces and the appreciation that we get to see from the families every day.
And Anna?
Well, Terry, I want to say thank you for having us on here to talk about this. And we like to say at Catholic Charities, we provide help and create hope, and we really could not do that as one agency alone. So with the support of United Way and the support of our many donors who come up at holiday season or throughout the year, we're really able to create hope and change in our communities.
And Shannon, you have the last word, and maybe it's one more time, a website, a phone number. You let me know.
Sure. 504-310-6962 and www.ccano.org. I know we have our current donors out there listening, and also potential donors. Contact us and let us know how you can make someone's Christmas and also provide hope.
I was going to say, let's make this season a bright one for so many. I want to thank you for joining me today. Shannon Murphy, who's the Director of Volunteer Services with CCANO, Catholic Charities Archdiocese New Orleans. Also joining you, our friend in for Anna Chujas, who is the Associate Director of Communications, Jonika Julian, who is with the Head Start program, Mamie Hall Landry, who is the Therapeutic Family Services Foster Parenting Program. And as I said earlier, you all wear so many different hats because you're doing so many things to better this community and the families that live in it. I want to thank you for joining me today and leave you with a little thought about United Way. We aspire to help people live the best life possible. United Way of Southeast Louisiana supports health and human service programs of nonprofit agencies that, with United Way, work to strengthen children and youth, the elderly, families, and individuals from all walks of life in Jefferson, Orleans, Plaquemine, St. Bernard, St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, and Washington parishes. And for more information, please visit our website, www.unitedwayseala.org, or you may call 504-822-5540. You can also find us on Facebook and check us out on Twitter at United Way Seala. Aspire to change tomorrow, starting today. Please join United Way and remember our partner, Catholic Charities. I'm Terry Westerfield, and for United Way, ladies, you want to join me in saying, Live United.